need to get more done? Well, here's how you do it. Hey there, Enterprisers, what's good? It's Jason Ligo here again, and in this video I want to talk to you about how to get more done. That's right, how to get more done. In this day and age, it's all about getting things done. If you want to succeed, if you want to do well, as far as I'm concerned, even if you just want to keep up, you gotta be able to get things done, and in this day and time, you have to get more things done because there's someone out there with the advent of AI and people's overall work ethic and competitiveness. Someone's working harder than you to make something happen. So how do you get more done? All right, in this video, I'm gonna cut right to the point and give you 3 basic but very powerful ways, simple ways at that if you focus on these things, this can help you get more things done. And like I said, in this day and time, when it comes to building your business, becoming successful, wanting to make sure that you balance your time between all the different projects you have, as well as maybe being a dad or a parent or just someone who wants to enjoy your life, you gotta figure out a way to get things done. So how do you get more done? Let's dive right into it right now. Number 1, deadlines, okay? Deadlines, all right? Deadlines are the king, in my opinion. They're the granddaddy of all time management, all right? Much like I believe that scheduling is the key to putting things in perspective in terms of mapping out what you want to get done, the reality is without a deadline, something never gets done, okay? That's kind of the way that I have found things to play out. Whether you're working for yourself or working for somebody else or with someone, you absolutely need to nail down when is it that you expect to have this particular item done. Now, that's not to say that whatever gets presented is the final rollout, okay? But again, you don't really have anything to work off of unless you have something presented that is complete. And so give yourself a deadline as to what is done and when you're gonna have it done and when you can present it. At that point, you can continue to look at ways to make it better or optimize it if that's the case, if that's what's necessary. But again, unless you have something done, you have nothing to go off of, okay? So one thing you can do absolutely right now to take your game to the next level in terms of productivity and time management and everything in between is just give yourself a deadline. I don't care if you're working on wedding planning, working on your business, or if you're just trying to figure out what's for dinner tonight. You need to set aside a time specifically as to when you expect to get this done. When do you make the decision? When do you present the project? When is it going to get done? Give yourself deadlines. Deadlines, deadlines, deadlines. Number 2, division. Division, okay? Now, when I say division, I know what you're thinking, and don't worry, don't freak out. I'm not talking about something that is divisive or where you're going to war with your team or going to war with yourself or fighting someone. I'm simply saying divide up the tasks according to priority, okay? Sometimes when it comes to tackling a task that you need to have done, you've got to be able to break it down into bite-sized chunks and hammering those things one at a time. Ultimately, especially when you combine it with the last point of deadlines, it all comes together nicely, and inadvertently what happens is you have this nice complete project. Let me give you a perfect example. We all know that in this day and time, if you want to do well in business, you have to have an online presence of some sort, right? You have to have a fully functioning website, complete with sales funnels, automations, and follow-up. We know that this is the case. Now, if you've never done this before, if you're not tech savvy, you probably will be intimidated or overwhelmed at the thought of putting together this big, massive website that has all this massive moving parts that come together nicely in order to achieve and accomplish these goals, right? Everything from lead capture to sales presentation, follow-up, monetization, so on and so forth. I know it sounds like a lot, right? But the reality is you don't have to tackle it just like that, okay? Again, break this down, divide it into small chunks. Okay, if you think about some of the basic, simplistic online pages in order to get things done from a marketing standpoint, you start with a landing page, right? That's your first page. And what do you need on a landing page? It's pretty simple. You need a creative headline. You need a form for input in terms of what kind of information you want to capture, like an email address or something like that. And then, of course, you go to the next page, right? The next page then has the sales page on it, complete with the VSL and another bold, catchy headline and sales copy that kind of sells your prospect on the idea of buying your product or working with you, whatever the case is. The next page then has the merchant information, or in other words, this is the payment page. This is where someone puts in their payment, you capture their payment info, and you charge their credit card, right? And then you have all the follow-up in between. My point is, if you take it one page at a time or one element at a time, and you give yourself deadlines and work on those things slowly, consistently, day after day, next thing you know, you've got this amazing sales funnel, or you have this amazing website, okay? Again, break it down into bite-sized chunks and divide it up. Division is nothing more than the divide and conquer rule, and it absolutely applies into business, okay? And you can apply this concept throughout any facet of your business, not just website building, okay? Divide things in accordance to level of importance, tackle them one by one, and ultimately watch them come together. So as much as it sounds crazy, the reality is division is helpful. If you want to get more done, divide and conquer. Number 3, and finally, my friends, and this is probably one of my favorite things, but this is delegation, okay? Delegation. If you want to get more things done, one of the best ways to do it is to give it to somebody else to do it for you, okay? And I think that this is one of the key skills that any good CEO or boss or, whatever you want to call it at the top of the food chain, this is kind of what they learn to master. And for a lot of people, this is actually a hard skill to do. This is a hard thing to do because it's hard for people to let go of full control and wanting to do everything themselves. I get it. You want to make sure that you have high quality in everything that you do. Not everyone can match your vision and your work ethic, so it's very hard for you to hand the reins to somebody else. But the reality is, if you're stuck doing everything by yourself, then guess what? You can't get much done. And there's a limit as to only so much that you can get done by yourself. And the whole premise of this video is how to get more done. So I would implore you to use this idea of delegation, okay? Find ways to find people and train them to take on the responsibilities that you no longer have to do. Not to say that they're not important, but some of these tasks are less valuable to you. They're less deserving of your time the higher you move up in the food chain and the bigger and wider your expansion of your operation becomes. Let me go ahead and give you a perfect example, okay? In the previous point, one thing I talked about was building a sales funnel or a website, and really taking the time to hammer out all these things. Well, would you believe that I've got some big name marketers, some friends of mine who, when they're doing this thing right now, they're at a level where they come up with a launch or a campaign of something that they want to go ahead and do. They have a new mission, a new initiative, a new product, or something that they're offering, and they don't even build their funnels anymore. They delegate that to someone else. They give their vision, they give their idea, they jot it down or doodle it or something like that on a piece of paper, and they tell someone what they're thinking about, and they have that person create the sales funnel. That person creates the website. That person creates the follow-up sequence. And all they do is give them what they want. They give them the idea, the goal, the inspiration, and they let these people run with it. Now, obviously, there still comes a time of proving and approval. Someone will go ahead and generate the work and bring it to them, and they'll say, okay, yeah, I like the way that sounds, or let's change this. But the idea is they're not wasting time. I say wasting, but you understand what I'm saying. They're not taking the time anymore to create the sales funnel and create all these moving parts when they can have someone else do it. And that allows them the time to spend doing the high-level tasks that really are the driving force behind the success of your business or your operation. Does that make sense? You want to get to the point where you don't do every little thing in your business. Find a way and the right people to delegate certain tasks to take some things off of your plate. I'm telling you, once you figure this out, then the sky is the limit. Get to delegating as soon as you can. There you have it, my friends. Listen, this is quick and dirty, right to the point, but believe me, I know where you're at, I feel your pain, and if you want to get more done, just like I do, then start adopting some of these things, right? One of the best things you can do is break things up, is break things out to other people, and obviously you want to make sure you got some deadlines to it, okay? Start incorporating these items and watch your productivity and your reach absolutely soar. Now you know what to do. Like, comment, share, subscribe, but hit the notification bell as well. That way you don't miss out on any more hot new content that I got coming down the pipe just for you. Also, if you hadn't had a chance yet, if you want to go ahead and look over my shoulder and I show you how to build your own wildly successful online profitable business, then go ahead and click on the link below or go to digitalfreedomjumpstart.com and I will show you exactly how to do that. Even if you failed at everything before, if you have a shoestring budget, if you have no experience, I can show you how to do it just like I have, all right? That's it, my friends. This is Jason Ligo with Always Enterprise. I'll talk to you soon. Take care.